Hello, church. Welcome to today's digital devotion. Yesterday, you should have received an email from us about stewardship season. And so that information is contained in this email as well. So thank you so much for all of your pledges. They mean everything to the operation of this church. And as we said, we're also starting this new sermon series, This Is Who We Are, and we're excited to explore the identity of the church and our identity as people of faith. Mm-hmm. We are in a period right now known as Eastertide.
Eastertide, yeah.
Yeah, which is the period in between Easter
Sunday
and Pentecost, the 50 days.
Right.
And so, what is Eastertide to you, Jen?
So I like to think of Eastertide as this slow unfolding of the reality of the resurrection. I mean, Easter Sunday is such an amazing, grand celebration, especially.
And it was so good.
It was so good. It's so good every year, but especially coming on the heels of Maundy Thursday and certainly Good Friday, which is very somber. Then, you have this big celebration on Easter Sunday. Jesus is risen. But I think something like the concept of resurrection takes time to really internalize and think about every year when we've gone through this period of, the 40 days of Lent. That's a long time to sort of be thinking about what things need to die in our lives in order for new life to take root. And, we spend 40 days thinking about that and ruminating on that. And then it's very hard to just sort of flip over in one day on Easter Sunday and be like, okay, I'm there, So I think Eastertide is this gracious 50-day period. It's 10 more days than Lent of unfolding into or growing into the reality of resurrection, thinking about, okay, I've done the hard work of cultivating the soil of my life, weeding out things that don't belong there anymore, clearing all the dead branches away, all the clutter in my mind and my heart. Now I'm ready to really plant seeds so that new life can start growing. And so that can be cultivating new friendships, spending more time in community, starting to volunteer more. Maybe there are Lenten practices that were really meaningful to you that you found deep spiritual growth in, and you're going to keep doing those or ramp them up even now in the Eastertide season. So it's really this time to sit in the glory and the hope that Christ's resurrection has brought to us and figuring out how to live that out.
Yeah, because Pentecost at the end of this is known as the birth of the church.
Right.
And so to think that from the resurrection to the birth of the church, it's not just this, again, our last series covered this, it doesn't happen in one fell swoop.
Right.
It takes cultivation.
Yeah.
You've planted the seeds.
Right.
That's great. But there still is care for the seeds, watering the seeds, getting the sunlight that it needs. Mm-hmm. You gardening people out there, you know all this, that it takes cultivation. Mm-hmm. And so even our spiritual transformation, okay, we feel like we're in a good place, but we have to continue to cultivate that, cultivate our spirituality, tend to it.
Right.
Our spirituality needs constant tending. Mm-hmm. And then from that tending, then we see what grows, new fruit, new life that comes out of it, but it takes attention and cultivation. And so this is kind of a period of attention and cultivation.
Yeah. And I talked about in my Good Friday sermon how it feels like we're in this Groundhog Day loop of Lent right now, just like endless Good Fridays, because the news headlines are so bleak and so disturbing with people being disappeared and rights being stripped and programs being cut that are vital for the well-being of so many people across the board, just so many things happening. But I think this Eastertide season is a time for us to kind of pull ourselves up by our resurrected bootstraps, if you will, and start really living into the hope that we are given as people of faith and figuring out, okay, we need to have new energy about how we're going to address these problems. We're not going to sit in fear. We're not going to sit in despair. We're not going to feel helpless and powerless and just decide, well, this is just how things are now. We're going to get this new energy from the resurrection and come together as a community and keep pushing forward.
If Christ is alive, what does that mean for how we respond
Right, that
to
was your
this
Easter
moment?
Sunday sermon. It's time to rise up together now. So welcome to Eastertide. These are the 50 days. We are going to be, like Jacob said, our stewardship series, sermon series is This Is Who We Are. And so I think that's a great Eastertide / stewardship theme to really remind ourselves who we are, what our identity is as people of faith and as followers of Christ, and use that energy to create change.
Amen. We'll see you in worship.